So my journey to getting here, where I'm running Body Smart, is kind of an interesting journey of learning a lot about the difference between what fit and healthy is, and learning the difference between healthcare and sick care. So I started my journey early on. I actually was an active, sports playing kid who tore his ACL, actually ACL, MCL, PCL in a skiing accident when I was a kid, and opted not to do surgery, but to do physical therapy and just see if I could rehab it well enough and things like that. And it worked. I was able to rehab my knee and get back to sports and do all the things that I love to do again. But what was fascinating is I fell in love with physical therapy as a profession. I thought, this is so amazing. You get to talk with people and build relationships, and you get to help them be physical and do exercises and all these things. So I loved it. I fell in love with it. And so everything I did from that point in time in my life was to become a physical therapist. But then once I became a physical therapist, I found that it wasn't all what I thought it was going to be. And I think a lot of people have that when they get into the profession, that there's aspects that they weren't really aware of or didn't really see coming. So one of the things was I right out of school, as I got my doctorate in physical therapy, I joined the University of Utah's stroke team. So I became the leader of that stroke team in just a short period of time, and was able to help grow that program. And in growing that program, I really loved what I was doing. I was passionate about it. I had so much fun working with people, helping them get walking again and moving again and getting back to their life. But as part of that program, I was tasked with building a wellness program. And as I started doing that, I thought, well, we're kind of at the wrong end of wellness for stroke patients. I definitely want to help the people that have had a stroke, but shouldn't we be doing more to prevent getting that stroke in the first place? And I had this special set of skills that I'd learned from one of my clinical instructors through school. I did an internship with an amazing physical therapist named Julie Knighton. And she taught me how to do metabolic testing and how to help people lead a healthier, more active lifestyle. She was literally doing what it kind of hit me that we needed to be doing with all of our patients, and keeping them healthy instead of waiting for them to get sick. And so it was this big eye-opening revelation to me of I need to be doing what Julie's doing. And so I tried some things to try to do that at the university, and just realized that at a large institution like that, it just wasn't the place for rapid growth and being able to do something like that. So I ventured out on my own, and through several iterations of what Body Smart was going to be, we've arrived here to what we're doing now. But it was this journey of figuring out that we can preserve people's health and wellness by leading a healthy, active lifestyle, and that we need to be on the end of keeping people healthy instead of waiting for them to have catastrophic things that shorten their lifespan. And so as I got into wellness and leading a healthy lifestyle on my own, there was a lot of lessons I learned from that. One of them, I'm an adult onset runner, is what I call it. So I didn't start running until I was about 30 years old. And because that, I came to it later because I realized that running didn't have to be as hard as I used to think. I always thought of running as a punishment. Like I said, I played a lot of team sports and things where all of my coaches used running as a punishment. You miss a shot, you go run laps. You screw up in some way, you go run laps. And so running was this punishment. And so I would always joke that, like, I only run if something's chasing me, or I only run to the dinner table, or funny things like that, because I didn't realize the value of running. And unfortunately, all too often coaches use running as that punishment. So I was out on a run one time with my wife, and we ran 8 miles together up in the mountains. And she was frustrated that me, who was not a runner, could go and run 8 miles with her. And I was like, well, yeah, I can run 8 miles if you're going this slow. And she said, well, what do you think endurance running is, distance running is? We're not running as fast as we can every single run. Like, you do a lot of, just kind of slow, steady runs, and then some fast runs too to build up your speed. But most of endurance running is just slow and steady. And so that kind of changed my mindset, because I loved being up in the woods. I love trail running. I live in the mountains of Utah, where it's really easy to go hit a trail. So I love going to get lost in the woods. And I didn't realize that I could just run as easy as I wanted to, and that was going to still keep me healthy and fit and active, and that with the right strategy, you can build that into running really fast and running really well as well. And so it was just such an eye-opening thing that you could actually just enjoy running by running at whatever pace you felt like that day. And that was good enough. And so that realization of leading an active lifestyle could be simpler than we make it out to be. That became kind of my passion that I wanted to share with other people, that lifting weights and doing strength training, that running or doing cardiovascular exercise of any kind didn't have to be as hard as what we make it, that it can actually be simpler and easier, and that we can just start with where we're at and build from there. We don't have to sign up for a marathon to get started. We don't have to lift a bunch of heavy weight to get started. Honestly, if we just start at one simple habit of like, I'm going to intentionally walk out to the mailbox every day, or I'm intentionally going to start at putting my gym clothes on every day. I might not even work out yet. I'm just going to get in the habit of doing something small and intentional for my health, start where I'm at and build from there. We have time to build on those habits. And I care more about where somebody's going to be 3 to 5 years from now, or 30 or 35 years from now, than I care where they're going to be in the next 30 days. What I hope that in the next 30 days, someone will achieve is building 1 or 2 habits that they can keep building upon. But if we put so much pressure on the now to make big changes right now, it doesn't tend to work. We burn out, we get fatigued, it's unsustainable, and we wind up doing things in 30-day challenges or other things where we can't foresee ourselves doing this 30 or 35 or 40 years from now. And so there's really no point in doing them now if we're not going to sustain it. And that was this realization that I had that I wanted to share with everybody else, that fitness can be simpler than what we make it. You can start with where you're at and then build upon that one small habit, one small step at a time, until you're leading that fit, healthy, active lifestyle, and that you're able to do all the things you love to do again. So that's kind of my journey and how I became passionate about helping you lead the most fit, healthy, active life you can, and doing so in a way that's sustainable for you.